La 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 la. Well, you'll be not glad to know I'm alive. At least that's what YouTube just said. I'm alive. You're alive. I said, okay, good for me. You know what I mean? Which side's better? I don't know. We'll try it over there. Lucy's here, stretched out. She's still recovering. Matter of fact, when I get off here, I have to give her medicine. She's pretty good about it. She just makes me walk back and forth between my bedroom and here as she plays. It's okay. I don't mind. She's playing, and I love her, and that's my. If that's the way we play, that's the way we play. You know what I mean? Anyhow, there was a 7.8 earthquake out in the Philippines. Now, that's one big mother of an earthquake, and usually means it can mean a lot of things: volcano, birth of an island, loss of an island, whatever's going on out there. That needs to be taken a look at because that could be pretty serious. I'm surprised no tsunamis alerts were given or anything like that. So, but that's one mother of an earthquake. Let me tell you. I forget what that scale means, but 7.8 is like the San Francisco earthquake. I think the old one that took out half the city and everything like that. Yeah, I think that's about what that's worth. Value at the same thing. I think. And here we go again with Trump complaining about everything, making false statements. I get very leery of Donald Trump when a lot of this goes on because he's up to something. And something there's an article. I forget where it was. I'm gonna say it was CNN or something. Anyhow, but Warren Buffett. You know who he is? Remember him? He just retired as a he just retired. He's a billionaire. He's considered the world's America's investor, the guru, and all that. You know, he's the best. They're the best in the world. What is it, Birchwood Hathaway, something like that? It's called, and he's the chief guru on it. Well, he went a little outside his more conservative reactions to things. I guess it was the day before yesterday since I read it. When did yeah, I read it yesterday, I think. So it has to be the day before, sometime last week or something, anyhow. And you've heard me say that I don't believe there's going to be a midterm election. I think Trump will stop it somehow. Well, the man, the man they call the man agrees with me. He says, you wait and watch. He says there'll be martial law, there'll be no election, there'll be no more elections, democracy is gone, and it's going to happen. He's going to wait, he's trying to stir up violent reactions so that he can declare martial law. And once he declares martial law, you lose everything. You know? The only way to stop him then is with a bullet or a war. Because you lose all your protections, you lose all the ability to fight him legally. The courts don't mean anything. Even if the Supreme Court stood up and said that's illegal, it doesn't make any difference. The Supreme Court can be arrested for saying it's illegal. Martial law is a bitch, folks. You know? And that's the only way to fight it is to go in there and fight. And I don't think a lot of people really want to do that. But that's what he's trying to do with all this little bullshit. You know, that when he's doing something and he's complaining about something, I get nervous because I say he's up to something. He's going to do something that we don't want. And he doesn't want us to see him do it so that we can't sit around and complain about him, you know? but it's going to happen. It's it's just one of those things, an inevitable situation there. I don't know. You sit around and you make videos, and I don't know. Brian Cohen just got put on an enemies list that people like him and me and other people that we're called creators. He got on Trump's enemy list. Now I was on Nixon's enemy list, and it really didn't mean anything other than the fact it was a badge of honor. I was one of I don't know, thousands of people that made that list, and I don't even know if he knew I was on the list. If he put me on the list or what. But this is a badge of honor for Brian Cohen. He used to do Occupy Democrats, and now he's got his own. He's got his own gig, Brian Cohen. Check him out. He's good. Uh, but he said it. He says I've just received a badge of honor from Donald Trump, and my response is to fuck you. You suck. That was the response he gave to being put on this list. And what that does is it's a badge of honor. I mean, I took great pride in the fact that I made Nixon's list back in the day, and at least I don't remember ever seeing it, but I was told I was on the list, and I just said, who cares, that's great, and it says, how about my so and so and so, so they make it, and I said, well, we don't know. I said, well, find out, and they never found out for me, and because they were good friends of mine, and they were pretty much in the same position I was, but back then I don't know how you got on the list because it wasn't an internet for us to do it. We just did it by being a pain in the ass. Um, I guess I don't know. This way, if I got on this list, I'd know how I got on it because I'm on because I'm doing videos and I'm a pain in the ass. I don't like Donald, so does that make me biased about him? I don't know. Maybe, but I don't like him as a human being. He completely lacks empathy. And to me, that's just one that's necessary to prove you're human. And he doesn't have that. So he's obviously, right up there on the top of my shit list. But I don't know whether that makes me on top of his shit list or not. Uh, he probably doesn't. I don't have that many people following me, so I doubt that if he considers me a threat, and I don't think I'm a threat. I just think I don't do exposés. I repeat I read what other people say and formulate and see if it coincides with my opinion or not, and then I'll express it. But having Buffett do that what he did the other day to say that this about Donald Trump. That he agrees with me that there's not going to be a 2026 midterm. That there's going to be martial law and democracy will be gone because we sit around and do nothing. You have all these people, commentators and whatnot, out here saying things, but and the kids read it and go, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. But they don't do anything, you know? We need more than no King's marches. We need no Trump marches. We need to protest the government, not just the fact that Trump wants to be king. We need to protest what's going on. We need to protest high prices. We need to protest the gasoline prices, the food prices. We need to protest the fact that he's stealing money from our tax dollars to do stupid things. Uh, but people are afraid of ICE. Let's face it, most of the guys that did the protesting during the real good protests during the civil rights movement and during the anti-war movement weren't exactly the pillars of society for the most part. You know, Bob Dylan never led a march. He sang protest. He sang songs that were considered to be protest songs or and were played at rallies and whatnot. But he never led a march. Okay, Bruce Springsteen's never led a march. I've never led a march. Okay, it cost me too much money, and unfortunately, I can't afford to because to get to the United States would cost me a small fortune and do that. Uh, but that because I'd have to stay away from my family, and it gets expensive staying in hotels and everything else I'd have to do. You're not really too old to run from cops. Uh, but uh, it seems that the youth of America is willing to accept anything so long as they have their iPhone and their apps are all there. They're ready to accept anything. Your inability to get a job is coming, folks. Kids, you have a big competitor now for the job market. It's called AI. Unless that gets reined in and you figure out it was something to do with this, that's what. My half brother, he's passed away a long time ago. No, he's my stepbrother. He passed away a while ago, long while ago. We hadn't talked in almost 50 years or so. Seriously, uh, the family dispute that I wanted no part of. I just didn't want to deal with him. He did say something to me one time when I was looking for right after my father died. He said, "You need to." They said the big thing coming up in this world is managing people, and he's right because we're going to have a lot of people that need jobs, and they're not jobs that there's no jobs for them. In other words, their job is going to disappear. Okay, there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people out of work because their jobs are going to disappear. And even no matter what the job, lawyer, whatever, it's you have artificial intelligence is designed to replace human labor. What else is it going to do? Advance us? No, it's not. Quantum physics will do that. Quantum computers will do that. AI is not. AI is a replacement tool. But the problem I see, as I see it, is okay. We don't have to. The rich people don't have to hire people to work for them. They can manufacture their stuff now with robots that are operated by AI. Okay, that's okay. I guess you could say it's cool. It's not really, but okay. So what do we do with the guy that was manufacturing your shoes? All right, the plant is not only automated now, but the automation used to be controlled by humans is now controlled by AI. AI is self-sufficient. This is what the average individual, I don't think, really truly understands what AI is. It's not there yet, but it's gonna get there, and that's when they say, it becomes, I forgot the term they use in the Terminator movies, and they put it in control of defense, which was what Hegseth wants to do now. And he is, by saying that, he has become the world's number one enemy. Because once you put them in charge of defense and you say, protect us from our enemies, let me tell you something. Most scientists will agree that this planet's greatest enemy is itself. It's us, humans. We're the ones that are self destructive. We're the ones that kill for pure pleasure. Us and sharks, I think, are the only two species on this planet of sport. So, what are you going to do? Hmm? Kind of strange thing. Well, listen, game three is tonight. Yeah, tonight, 8:30 for the Knicks. And, the mayor of New York City and the fat orange haired one are going to the game. That could be a real catastrophe. All right. We just have to wait and see. I don't want to. This could be where one of the times he wants to declare martial law. So this could be a real wild, crazy thing. Somebody's going to pay $1 million for 2 seats in Celebrity Row to watch that game. Look, I like the Knicks and I like basketball. I really prefer the older version because I think the players were slightly more gifted back then because they knew how to play defense and they could really hustle. But anyhow, forget that. It's a new era. It's a new game. Fine. I'd love to see the Knicks win. It'd be great for New York City. Maybe. But you've got this moron that's out there to spoil everything. So I tell you, just be careful if you can't get near the Madison Square Garden tonight. So stay out of New York if you're in that area and game and see what happens. But I got bad feeling about this move. Trump hates basketball. He hates black people and he hates basketball. So I don't know why he's going to the game, other than the fact that it caused a disruption, ruin everybody's ruin everybody's night. All right, that's it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow. Everybody have a great day. It's been raining since I got up, so I'm just gonna sit here and dry out. But you guys, hope the weather's good, and we'll talk tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about the game. We'll see. I don't know whether I can watch it down here. I'm gonna try. In the meantime, have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.